Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 12th July 2016. The first article is related to the ongoing civil war in Sudan, South Sudan to be precise. So let us understand a brief history of Sudan. Now the South Sudan, it has got independence from Sudan in 2011 after a overwhelming vote in support of separation of the South Sudan from the Sudan. And then there was a rift between Sudan and South Sudan over the distribution of the natural resources. Because the South Sudan is rich in oil wealth. But however, the distribution network is in the North Sudan, or else for the specific sake in the Sudan. So in this context, the South Sudan is dependent on the Sudan for supply or for making use of its oil wealth. And after that, there are two major tribes in South Sudan. One is the Dinka tribe and the other one is Nuer tribe. The Dinka is the largest and President Salva Kiir is from the Dinka tribe. And Vice President Riek Machar is from the Nuer tribe. Now, a political friction which has started between the President and Vice President, it has led to ethnic violence between these two groups. So in this context, a ceasefire agreement, and last year in the Egypt, Addis Ababa, an agreement was also signed, a peace agreement was also signed. And again, the issues are getting deepening and the situation is getting worse with regard to the capital Juba. In South Sudan, a person who possesses more number of cattle, that is herd, they will be declared as rich and controlling the others. Now in this context, the major issue is many of the people are been taking away the cattle of the common people, and that is leading to the rise in this particular ethnic violences. These are previously confined to the periphery of the capital. Now they have reached to the capital Juba. Let us discuss about 1991 reforms, economic reforms which are undertaken. In an interview, Montek Singh Ahluwalia has tried to describe that situation. You know that 1991 India was going through a crisis situation where its foreign exchange reserves have dipped to less than 15 days. So in this context, India has undertaken a series of structural adjustment programs. Whatever the growth which we are seeing today is due to the adjustments which were taken up by the Prime Minister Narasimha Rao at that point of time. And Manmohan Singh, with the support of the Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, is majorly said to be responsible for these reforms, though within the party and outside the party they did not have any support. And the second thing is, now today, though we have achieved the growth, but we need to transform that into development in health and education. On the other side, UPA 2 government, it is majorly criticized for its policy paralysis, where environmental clearances are not given in time. In this context, the cooperation between the various ministries, excessive departmentalism and empire building across the ministries is said to be the major reason for this. So in this context, what we can say is a strong political leadership supported by a strong intelligentsia is necessary for a country to take on a reform agenda. Now coming to the trafficking. Now, there was previously an Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act. Now, a draft bill has been presented, that is Trafficking of the Persons Prevention, Protection and Rehabilitation Bill 2016. And there is a lot of criticism about this. Now, according to the draft bill, any citizen who is public-spirited citizen, he can, if he comes across a woman involved with prostitution, he can rescue her, produce her before a district trafficking committee. Now in this context, if we carefully observe, that might lead to a moral policing by certain social vigilantes. And the second is, the powers given to the district trafficking committees are too excessive. Now, there are no formal courts in the system. The district trafficking committees act as policeman, judge and rehabilitation, all the roles clubbed into one. And then, the Verma committee has specifically said that the section 370 amendments which he has proposed shall not come in between or to harass women who is involved with sex work voluntarily. So in these circumstances, the bill is more retrogressive rather than being progressive. Now coming to Uniform Civil Code. So Article 44 of the Constitution what it says is it has to endeavor to secure the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. It means that all the citizens in the country has to be guided by a common civil laws. Now, there is a lot of opposition to this. It is wrongly construed as a majoritarian law being imposed onto the minorities. No. And the second thing is, no religion is, what I can say is, unanimous, or else there are many sects and interpretations to a religious text. So under the existing personal law, what is happening is, we are prioritizing one interpretation over the other interpretation. So that's why it means that whatever the personal law which we are implementing, it is not a law for everyone. It is only a law which is accepted by certain sections of a particular religion. And the third thing is, women's situation, irrespective across the religions, it is worse. So in this context, bringing the uniform civil code can change the situation of the women, can change the situation of various sects in a particular religion, and finally it can strengthen the unity of the country. But it can only be brought in after a proper social climate is built in the country. If not, it can build a divide between the majority and minority, and communal tensions can worsen in the country. And coming up UP elections. Now this article is mostly related to the politics in UP. Now the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP, because I am specifically using Prime Minister Narendra Modi because in the last election BJP fought it in the name of Modi rather than in the name of the party and its ideology. So he has reshuffled his cabinet recently, and the major reflection of the cabinet is a caste and a religious mix. The reason is to face the upcoming UP elections. Now, between 2014 and 2016, and relative wave of the BJP has decreased, but however it is regaining it now due to the weakness of its opponents. Now, what the author says is, if any political party wins in UP, it is not due to the inherent strengths of the political party, but it is majorly due to the weakness of the political opponents. And Valley. Now Kashmir Valley is going through a turn of violence. Now you know that in the last 2 years there is relative silence in the Kashmir Valley. But why the events have turned up so high? Now one thing is, they move after Mr. Saeed's death, there was a huge political vacuum which was created because of the rift between BJP and its alliance. And second thing is, the Article 370 and the discussions on Article 370, it has led to a new situation as sensitivities have been revived. And then Hurriyat was given new life by the government. So, and extremist voices are clearly visible now. And finally, the social media is playing a worst role, which is reviving the terrorism or terror elements in the Kashmir. So, Mr. Burhan Wani, if you take about, he is a hero of the social media who has encouraged the youth to take up the militancy by using the power of the social media. So it means a new kind of terrorism which is domesticated on the ideas spread on the soil of the Kashmir is being developed now. It is going to be much dangerous than the previous one. And coming to the pivot to Asia, let's understand this. Now South China Sea, there is a conflict between Philippines and between China. Philippines took the matter to the International Court of Arbitration, which is about to give its judgment. In this case, clearly, the China is indicting the United States of America and its pivot to Asia, the President Obama's doctrine to Asia, that is what is responsible for all these conflicts in among the South China Sea littoral nations. That's what the China claims for. These are the articles for today. Thank you very much.